We're live again. It's Tuesday morning, 9:30, and part one. Part two will happen between now and ending 10:15 one way or another. Welcome back to the studio in terms of virtually, and let me know if you're in the room. I've chosen, because of a question made in the previous day, to do the yellow band again, as you'll have noticed from the title. But just to say, morning Susan, if you don't have a yellow band, then don't stress or worry about it. Don't use a band. The non-band equivalent is fine. You're still learning the shapes that you need to have for great improvements to joints and Pilates technique. So with no yellow band, carry on exactly as, and mimic all the movements. What happens when we use the yellow band is you end up using much more of the upper body. So it's a kind of whole body workout. Now that can be both beneficial and also contraindicated. Morning Patricia, because if you don't have the upper body strength or you become distracted by the band, then you can find you overwork the upper body. Morning Ken. So I was just saying that if you don't have a yellow band, that's grand. Hi Carol, if you don't have a band, just carry on as though you have one. I'm glad that we're all managing to find ourselves into the room. It is video 117. I dread to think, I heard this morning that lockdown could be extended, and I thought, no, please don't do that to us. Hi Jenny, welcome to the moment. Jenny, watch out with this yellow band. Make sure that you don't end up two in your neck. Morning Boss and Janine. So the yellow band has a brilliant connection. The yellow band, actually, if you become a real expert at your breathing, the yellow band becomes the thing that you're breathing in and out of. So it may be today for those that have been around for longer. Maybe you can make more of that sensation. Hi Ellie, of breathing, and that the yellow band, the exhale will always be the kind of breath out moment with the yellow band. The inhale, the feeling of space. Use your band, explore it, play with it, and see how it feels. I'm about to go in front of the camera, so here's to a great session. If you take your yellow band and hold it at either end, the problem with me saying this is yellow band workout is if you haven't got the exact band I bought, your band may be a little bit too short, or it could be too intense in terms of strong for you. Whichever way, either with or without the band, you're going to put the band on the floor and step into the band with the feet just slightly apart. You definitely want the band under your heels and the outsides of the instep, and your feet needs to be level. Once you've done that, the first part of working with any resistance equipment, because the band is a resistance equipment, is to make sure you don't use it like it's a dumbbell or a gym lift. You're using this band to create a core connection. I'm standing, I'm going to keep changing position so you get a kind of increasing different angle of me. I'm standing with my elbows slightly tucked in, pointing down to my hip bones. You'll find that if you work out my cueing, where I say elbows, hip bones, that actually helps the body know where it is in time and space. By holding the band slightly tight, I'm already feeling that if I breathe in and out, so start breathing with me, inhaling through the nose and exhaling, grow tall, and imagine just a little bit more pulling against the band as the exhale empties, and then the inhale releases slightly away again. So the band has a very limited tension in this shape here. Breathing out, I'm not clenching my bum, I'm not locking out my legs. As the breath out ends, I pull this band up to a little bit more of a bicep curl, and then the inhale, I feel the easing off of the attention. Breathing, exhaling, increase the intensity of the breath out as you increase the intensity of the band, elbow pulling down to hip bones. Inhaling, and so if the band became a mimic of your breathing muscles, there'll be this gradual increasing in core connection on the breath out as the increased tension on the band, and a releasing of tension on the breath in. Now I appreciate that if people have been with us less than 20 weeks, and people have been with us 20 years, that there'll be varying degrees of sensing, finding, and understanding. The only thing you need to make sure isn't happening in your body as you do this gentle wake up to your breathing and band connection is that you're not using the upper neck and the upper shoulder area really. In other words, if there's no pinching pain, then we're grand, carry on exploring. So the first part of the sequence was to take the band from being lacking in tension to breathing out and increasing tension at the same time as shoulders pulling away from the neck and inhaling back down. Go do one more. As your elbows bend more and the breath out empties, the shoulders haven't pulled up to the neck. Stay here, draw your shoulder blades back a bit more but don't pop your ribs, and now turn the palms of the hands to face the ceiling. Elbows are still pointing to hip bones. We now have our dumb weight, the knees stay soft. Breath out, start the breathing out and open the collarbones as you open your arms but keep your upper arms by your sides, and inhale back again. You're turning the arm within the shoulder joint. It's known as a rotational movement for the humeral head, and it's all of your rotator cuff muscles, the tiny ones you probably can't name, being asked to lengthen at the front of you and strengthen behind you. That's the shortening phase. Inhaling, we open. And as though you're holding two very heavy plates full of Christmas roast dinner. All right, so those plates are heavy. You've got to keep a strong wrist, and your upper back wants to take the greatest amount of the load, and it can only do that if you're breathing out, strengthens the midriff, allowing then the upper back to take the load, and you're waking up those extensors that tend to be weak, and COVID hasn't done them any favours because we're all crouched, hunched, despairing over laptops and screens. All right, people, or just slumped watching movies. Next time, your arms go out, stay, and then allow the arms to open at the elbow. Exhaling, keep those legs soft, make sure your pelvis is neutral, and do a little bit of bend. As you feel the tension on the band ease, you'll feel the biceps stretch and the front deltoid stretch, and as you feel it increase, the bicep, without the shoulders lifting, strengthens, and your upper back should be part of it. Keep the chin drawn in towards the neck, keep the crown of the head lengthened away from the shoulders, and we're going to do one more. It's quite intense, but this is more of a stretch, so long as your core stabilising. Finishing that one off then, you're going to take your band behind you. The band will now push backwards. Remember how we've used the roller? I'm going to take a little bit more tension on the band. The band does need to be saggy when your arms are by your sides in true neutral. It wants to find increased tension the further back you go. So on this action, when these arms go backwards, the back of the shoulder, between your shoulder blades, imagine skin folds accruing. You're pushing down and back, not lifting your shoulders up. Again, it's hard for me teaching when I can't see you, because I kind of feel as though I'd been naming people, saying, get your shoulders down. All right, people, the next time you go back, stay. We're going to use this to start the squat combination. I'm checking everything's lined up using my mat for alignment. You keep pushing back as you breathe in into the squat, and exhale, ease that tension a bit, and inhaling, increase the tension, breathing out, and as you come to stand, ease it. It's almost easier to push into the band as you go back. We use the roller behind us way back, and that helped the upper body stay part of this squat sequence, because most people on the squat tend to forget about the upper body. They look right, but when I find I palpate what's happening into their spine and I look about the upper back area, they're not getting all they could get. You're going to stay down in this squat. Inhale, float your arms forwards until they go lighter and stay. Exhaling, pull your arms backwards until you feel the upper back. Breathe in, taking the intensity away from the upper back without rounding the shoulder. You float forwards, come back through the neutral element to it, and find that resist. Now you're going to push, and we're going to keep the band reaching backwards as you lower and lower and lift and lift. If it's too intense, let the arms lose the band, but don't lose your trunk shape. It's never one size fits all in terms of how much we do of anything. It's to do with existing pathologies, posture that exists, and training up to this date. Okay, people, the next time, leave your arms now sagging so you feel the difference between the shoulders being drawn together, that's the shoulder blades, and then being freed up. And then breath out, you'll pull your chin to your throat,
And make sure you give the middle to upper back a great stretch. Head hanging, arms hanging, heels are grounded. Breathing out again, pelvic tilt. Pull your arms back against the band. Push your arms behind you as you pelvically roll through the lumbar all the way back to stand, and you're going to have your elbows bent. So here we are again, we're going into the squat. Keep your elbows bent initially, learning how to go from intensity on the band to reduced intensity. In other words, there's resistance going on and you're using it to stand up and inhaling down. By keeping the intensity as you stand, rather than relaxing as you come out of a position, you keep trunk breath connection. So trunk stabilisation should improve. Next time you go down into that squat, stay. Push your arms forwards. Now open through the arms, and you've got this chest opener, and inhale, close through the shoulder. Breath out. When you pull your arms back, it's the upper back that wants to initiate that. As your arms flow forwards and the band tension eases, your shoulder does the kind of release of the upper back. It lengthens, lengthens, lengthens back to a more copable intensity, and then as you pull against the band and go all the way back to here, you can feel the resistance. Okay, keep the arms back and reaching. By pulling your arms to your sides, reaching out and making the breathing muscles work for you, you're keeping trunk stabilisation, upper back activation, and if you're not breathing, you're just creating a massive brace and you'll hate this band and you'll never want to use it again. Whereas if you're breathing, you'll find the band becomes part of the breath. All right, people, allow your arms to hang. Feel the difference again in the upper back and the shoulder. Breath out again to nod, roll, and do any back extensor work that I'm fairly certain all of you will have happened. Breath out, then stretch the legs, inhale and bend, pushing the fists down so that you make sure that as you do the hamstring stretch, you're not just simply tucking your bottom under and damaging your lower back. Inhaling, the knees bend. Keep your shoulders relaxed, they're having a moment. And come back up again, bend your elbows by your sides, pulling your elbows back, pelvic tilt, return your spine all the way back, and that's that. Next position, take your band from under your feet and have it so that you're holding the band. I'll show you sideways. You don't want it twisted. And that's the other thing about using equipment. You have to have the patience to get the equipment in the right place. What you need to appreciate is the band is simply like the reformer. It's just that the reformer, it anchors itself with the ropes and the pulleys and the springs. With the band, you have to create that grounding, that foundational connection. So it's actually harder. But the band is just like having the reformer in various parts of feet in straps, hands in straps, feet on foot bar. So creating our own connection here with the arms bound around just to the shoulder blade. We're going to take our legs wide. Your wide leg position, ready for your squats. So as you squat, open your arms, stay in the first squat. Make sure you've got the right sensation going on in your trunk, shoulders, collarbones, and then inhale, you're going to close your arms. So my arms go expanding through the chest, and then I'm learning to keep my shoulders connected as I bring my arms forwards. Sometimes when we move with your arms, we don't really understand what it is to keep a neutral shoulder. In other words, we're quite good at going, okay, arms wide open, but when it comes to the arms coming together, we tend to move the whole joint. It's like changing to a round shoulder when you pull your arms forward. So don't round just here. The upper back muscles want to stay connected as you go down into that wide squat and inhale. It's the sumo squat. You're loading through your heels. The rules of squatting stay the same. The difference is that you now have to think about moving with the band as well as moving through the legs. Go down and stay. So just here then, make sure the band is where it should be as you close and open and close. you're going to work keeping the upper body tensioning with the breathing muscles, breath out as you push up a bit. Inhale, keeping the neck long. Exhaling and inhaling. Next time you go down, stay. Now inhale, open one arm, and exhale, close it. Stay down there. Inhale, open the other arm. Learning how to trunk stabilize every part of you whilst under load. Remember, the band is the breath. Usually as the band tension lightens, it's the breath in. As the band tension increases, it's the breath out. So exhale and pull your shoulders away from each other. Inhale and pull them back. Shoulder blades protract and retract. So the breath out, increase the tension on the band. It's like a stretch through the back of the upper body. And the inhale, the scapula slide back to their more neutral position. The band assists that glide mechanism of that musculoskeletal positioning. So as we deepen, if you feel as though you're going up into your neck, maybe angle your arms a little bit lower down. And the more intuitive you are with the breathing and the tiny range of movement and the freeing up of the neck, keeping the power in the legs and the core, and that subtle kind of reach, shoulder blades away from each other with the breathing muscles, you'll get what you need. All right, let that go. Final activity is going to be the lunge position. Obviously, I'm going to do the next video much more Pilates core. I would actually say that the standing work with the band, my band's all screwed up. The standing work with the band is the hardest to do, and the newer you are to Pilates, the more it feels like it's a bit of a gym workout. Now that my band is flat again, I'll put my heel on the band so the whole foot knows where the band is. I'm going to cross the band over. So I've just literally just crisscross the hand position. The band now acts as a stabilizer because you're feeling as though your upper body is connected to the band. Front leg is going to be the front lunge. Back leg, she says. So find your position. Back leg reaching. I'm walking my hand down the band till I feel as though it's around the knee area. Once I've got that in place, sit your bottom back. So you've got your normal lunge position. Forgive me for coughing. Breathing in and out. Breathe out then, pull the band wide and come out of that lunge, inhale and crouch down. By pulling the band out sideways, you're assisting your ability to stabilise. Sitting backwards into your lunge and forwards. Inhaling back, the band loosens. Exhaling, increases tension. The primary muscle working is the hamstring glute, and the secondary is the upper back shoulder. If you take your band lighter, so that you're further away from you can actually push it wider and pull it back, and then pull it outside. So you can do a reach and breathe. Reach it back. Inhale, take it sides. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, pull it sides. For some reason, my balance is shocking. Inhaling back, breath out and wide, keeping the back heel off the ground. So I'm starting to get deep into my hamstring glute stability system without despairing my upper body, because I'm getting my upper back rhomboid mid-trapezius working, and I'm also really unstable today. For whatever reason, stay. Breathe. Feel grounded. Push back and step up. Let's hope I have a different leg. Then again, the band, you could argue maybe I'm too tired. You could argue that there was too much to think about for me to do that exercise really well. Don't despair. Every single thing you do leads you somewhere. However poorly done because of a lack of understanding of technique, as long as there's no pain, your practice will take you to another place. Okay, people, I have my band under my heel, I've crisscrossed it. I'm core connecting, sitting my bottom back ready, grounding myself, and I'll stand up and down. Work with the band in a way that makes sense to you. So maybe you might find that just keeping your arms moving backwards continuously, that as you crouch back and up, you feel the upper back connect and the band helps you stabilise. It could be that you want to move your arms to and fro or out and back. Don't be afraid of changing your alignment. I'm just wondering if my alignment has been my biggest issue, because this feels a whole lot better. If you're struggling with the band, don't move the upper body. Have a slight bend at the elbow, and then tune into the band easing and the band increasing tension as you press the ground away. Eases the intention as you crouch, increases with the breath out, push. Inhaling, that ease again, upper back. So you're taking the power that is in the band into your upper body and into your core. Remember, you can reach and reach and reach. 4 more, we're going. Inhale. So it's your traditional lunge with the added complexity. There's no doubt it's complex. Using the band to keep the core connection and standing up. All right, that's all there is with the band today for the standing work. It is intense. The next video though will be the core without the intensity, continuous request from the upper body. Hoping that made a bit of sense. Please revisit the video, and if you're new to Pilates or you've not really used this band, have another look. We do have bands at the studio, so if you need a band, then be in touch. It's a bye for a moment before we redo the next video. Okay, Pilates core with the yellow band is next. See you soon.